People of Reddit, when did you realize you're a horrible person? Story 1. I took advantage of someone who loved me. I was in a relationship with someone who truly cared about me, but I didn't feel the same way. They trusted me, and I used that to my advantage, asking for favors, gifts, even money. One day I pushed them too far. They cried silently after I asked them to give up something they loved just to make me happy. Seeing their pain hit me like a brick wall. I realized I wasn't just selfish. I was breaking someone who deserved better. Story 2. I let my brother down when he needed me most. My little brother struggled with addiction, and for years I tried to help, but eventually I got tired of the drama and decided he wasn't my problem anymore. I stopped answering his calls. One night, he called me over and over, but I ignored it. The next morning, I found out he'd been arrested. He just needed a ride, and I let him down. I still think about how different things could have been if I'd answered the phone. Story 3. I got a coworker fired for no reason. A colleague of mine was excelling at work, and instead of being happy for them, I got jealous. I spread a rumor that they were stealing from the company. Management believed me, and they were fired. Later, I found out they couldn't find another job and their family was struggling. It hit me. I didn't just ruin their career, I ruined their life. And for what? My own insecurity. Story 4. I broke up a family without thinking. I had an affair with a married man. At first, I told myself it wasn't my responsibility. He was the one cheating, not me. But when his wife found out, everything fell apart. Their kids started asking why their parents were fighting all the time. Seeing the chaos I caused, I couldn't keep lying to myself. I wasn't just a bystander. I helped tear a family apart. Story 5. I made someone stop trusting others. A friend once lent me a lot of money when I was struggling. I promised to pay it back, but kept putting it off. Eventually, I stopped answering their messages. Years later, I saw them again and tried to apologize, but they said, "You made me realize I can't trust anyone." Those words haunt me. I didn't just lose a friend. I became the reason they stopped believing in people. Story 6. I bullied someone at their lowest point. There was a quiet girl in my class who kept to herself. One day she was crying in the corner, and instead of helping her, I laughed with my friends. We mocked her pain like it was a joke. A few weeks later, I found out she'd attempted suicide, and I realized our cruelty had been a part of what pushed her to the edge. I still feel ashamed when I think about her face that day. Story 7. I abandoned my parents when they needed me. My parents weren't perfect, but they always supported me. When they got older, they needed my help, but I was too busy with my own life. I barely visited them. When my dad passed away, my mom told me, he always hoped you'd come see him one last time. I realized I'd let my parents down in their final years because I couldn't be bothered to show up. Story 8. I chose money over friendship. I had a friend who stood by me through tough times. One day, I was offered a promotion that would hurt their career. I took it without thinking twice. They lost their job because of me, and I didn't even try to make it right. I gained money, but I lost something far more valuable: the trust and loyalty of someone who truly cared about me. Story 9. I pushed my friend into a decision they regret. A close friend confided in me about their spouse's infidelity. I told them they should leave without considering how complicated the situation was. They listened to me, and the divorce went through. Later, they told me they regretted it and felt pressured by my advice. That's when I realized I'd interfered in something that wasn't my place to decide. Story 10. I walked away from someone who needed me. One freezing night, a homeless man asked me for a blanket. I had one in my car, but I was in a rush and told him no. A few days later, I read about someone who froze to death in that area. I'll never know if it was him, but I'll always wonder if I could have saved a life with something as simple as stopping for 5 minutes. Thank you for watching. If you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe and turn on your notification bell if you want to hear more shocking stories.